Welcome back to another video with me, Kay the Cat Gaming, and today we are gonna go into easy and just, play. Just play. Not much. But, I've realized I am one of the only content creators to play this pretty much daily. And record it multiple times a week. And I have never had a how to beat World Defenders video. But now that everyone can beat it very easily, I feel like I don't need to. So instead, I'm making a how to grind World Defenders video. And you might be wondering, well, grinding can't be that hard. I mean, it's super easy to beat. The grinding part is a little bit harder, especially since there are multiple ways you might want to grind. You might want to grind medium, you might want to grind hard, or you may just want to grind easy. Now, the thing is, grinding each of these is different. Easy is very easy and is probably the one that most people grind for wins if they're just looking for wins. Coins, medium is probably the best bet because 25 minutes time, and it also has one of the important things, such as you can get the extra coins from getting the challenges. But that's a bit more difficult because you need, towers that aren't just the sniper and stuff like that. But the sniper is the easiest tower to get because you start out with 100 coins. You can immediately buy the sniper. And this is the method I like using to grind sometimes. The other times I use just the snowman and the polar bear. And one of the ways to grind is fairly easy. You just, get the towers that you need to grind easy, aka the sniper or other towers, and you go into a game and bam, you basically win. But for medium, it's more difficult. And one of the strategies I use for grinding is a wave marking system where I mark important waves, like wave 10 for the first boss coming out, wave 15 for the Carnosaurus coming out, or that's in medium anyway. But for some tower defense games, this is very easy, such as Bloons TD6, where the waves never change with updates. World Defenders, the things change with updates, so it's quite hard to do. to mark all the waves. But easy, I have all the waves marked down, or most of them, most of the important ones, such as wave 10 bringing the first boss, which we are about to see. Another important thing is for the more difficult ones, for the people who like to give themselves a challenge, mutants is almost impossible to grind because it's a 50-50 chance you actually win. In my opinion, anyway, that is how it usually goes for me. And I was one of the first 25 people to complete it, and one of the only people to probably ever complete it. And the reason that mutants is so hard is A, because of the latest update where they nerfed, aka made weaker, most of the towers that were used to beat it, such as the Rudolph and other such towers. Now, it was a big change, but it was a change, and a very important change that made it extremely difficult to grind the game on mutants. Like, mutants is still possible, but I'm probably not going to go into it, A, because I wasn't one of the ones to actually beat it without the certain towers. And now that the Christmas update is gone, it's not possible to grind any of the Christmas update bosses anymore. But I did grind as much as I could the Christmas bosses. But some of them were extremely difficult, such as one of the ones which was only slightly less difficult than mutants. Of course, it's now not more difficult than mutants because mutants was made harder by giving the towers debuffs, which I am very disappointed in because those towers were, I feel like they were balanced pretty well, but I have to admit they kind of did need a debuff. Like the Rudolph was just overpowered. The mech overpowered. Oh wait, right. It's a wave 11 that the boss comes out. I forgot for a second that it came out wave 11. Anyway, as you can see, the boss doesn't stand a chance against the snipers. And this is one of the strategies for grinding easy. Is just using some of the cheapest towers. But another way is using some expensive towers and getting a 100% win rate, which is also a way. The thing is I feel like in World Defender's history of 6, maybe 7 months, one thing that it has persisted is that it can get hard at times, such as mutants was extremely hard. The Christmas was hard. Few content creators could beat it before they added the Rudolph. Now you might be wondering, why did the Rudolph matter so much? Because it was extremely powerful. It was the most powerful tower back then. And I beat it with only the dinos towers. Of course, I wanted to give a challenge. I wanted to give myself a challenge. And I did that by beating it before they made it way easier. Of course, sure, that might not have been a good idea because it took me a long time to beat it, but I didn't know that they were going to make it easier, so I was like, oh no. And then the second time I beat it, I was like, wait, they made it easier. And I was a little bit disappointed that they made it easier because I liked it when it was hard. But I also had to admit that I was one of the first 10 people to beat it, and it was extremely hard. And like, I only know one other person who beat it before it got easier, which is pretty crazy. And then they added like the more powerful Christmas towers, such as the Santa Sleigh, the Rudolph, all those things, which made it super easy compared to what it was before all those. And thank goodness they did that, because otherwise people would just quit because it was so difficult to beat. But the main thing about World Defenders being hard and grinding is because some people want to grind the hard ones, and sometimes you need to think of outside the box strategies, such as for mutants. Like, you had to think of outside the box strategies. And I like what they did with mutants, making you think of how can I use my weapon while also managing towers. Because you need to manage towers at the same time of managing your weapon, which is an important part because you need to get rid of the shields. And as I was saying before, I used like a kind of wave marking system to mark waves, and that was very important in mutants, because if I got any of the waves wrong, because back when it was difficult, I had to back when it was difficult, and I just made a video saying that it was pretty much impossible to beat, but you know, it's clearly not impossible to beat. But back when it was decently easy to beat, I still know people who couldn't beat it once, and they were very good at the game. Back when it was that hard and slash easy, you had to like mark what waves you had to get things. Like wave 20, you had to have a specific amount of stuff to beat the 50,000 health mammoth. And then by wave 25, you had to have a specific amount of stuff to beat the mutant T-Rex. Or I think it was mutant Indominus. Yeah. And then you had to have different things by certain waves so that you could actually beat it. You had to have certain towers, certain upgrades for your weapon. You had to have a maxed out gun by wave 20, or at least a level 4 gun by wave 20, which you probably could manage while doing other stuff, but you need to manage it just perfect, or that's what I thought. But truly, I could have probably gone a little bit easier on the difficult part of like the planning sides, because I did like, you know, strictly say, okay, I can have this by this wave, this by this wave, this by this wave, but I can't have this by this wave, or else I would, you know, waste my money and I wouldn't be able to get something else by that wave. You know, I was I was kind of being overboard with what I couldn't have and could have by certain waves. But I did beat it. And mutants was one of the hardest tower defense challenges I've ever faced. And another difficult challenge was Hard Christmas, like I said. But then again, they made that easier where a lot of people could do it. Because. Wait, what was that? Okay. Here we go. The final boss. I'm pretty sure that we're gonna beat this. Because. I mean, like. I don't think we can't beat this. Yeah, look at this. Who's not upgraded? This dude's not upgraded. This one's not upgraded yet. How did I forget that? And now that they made easy easier, I'm gonna try. I don't know why, but I want to try and beat it with a caveman. Because I've heard that it is possible caveman only. Which is interesting. But I want to try it for myself. Because I haven't, like, fully tried it yet. And I feel like that may be a difficult challenge, but also may not be a difficult challenge. I mean, like, the sniper only challenge isn't that difficult. Like, even without a visit center, it's not that difficult. Like, look at that. GG. 57. How did I earn 57 coins? What? How did I earn 57 coins? Wait 1 second. That is really weird. Okay, but anyway, I am gonna just please stand by for K the Cat Gaming. Please stand by. Please stand by. Oh my goodness. Okay, wait 1 second. I was gonna go to a private server. But first off, like I said about grinding, 792 wins. That is some serious grinding. The thing is, those people like grind nonstop. I grind kind of. Like, I don't really grind that much. I may not go into my private server. I may just, you know what? I may not. I don't feel like doing that only challenge. That is gonna be difficult. What can I do? I don't know. Maybe I'll just go in with my normal thing. My normal thing. Oh, you're right. My favorite. The T-Rex is definitely still up there. This, not really that good. Jurassic Orb. Spectral Rider can be unfavorited. Rudolph. Is it that good anymore? And you might be like, wait, the Rudolph isn't that good anymore. They debuffed it, okay? They debuffed it. What am I supposed to say? It's amazing because it's not. I mean, like, look at that thing. Okay. All right, let me get that, and that. All right. And now that they have it where easy is easy, hard is pretty easy, medium is also easy, I feel like they should give another challenge. Another more difficult challenge. Such as maybe an extreme challenge, like an extreme challenge where you have to have beaten like mutants 5 times or something to be able to try, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe something where you have to like, you know, I don't know. Just something that makes it hard. Like, not just the usual hard. Not just like add some shields, add very powerful bosses. Maybe something like, I don't know. Maybe some extra waves. Because the thing is, with marking the waves, the hard thing is like for 30 waves, 40 waves, maybe even 50 waves, it's decently easy to mark waves. And wave 20, you could probably mark every wave. Like, it's easy to mark important waves in, like, when there's, like, 30, 40, 50 waves. But when there's 60, 75, 100 waves, it's very hard to mark important waves. Now, I've played Bloons TD6, and that goes to 100 waves, or it can go to 100 waves. There are actually 10,000 and above waves, and you might be wondering, how is there 10,000 and above waves? 101 and above are random. And some waves aren't random. And that's how there is, you know, hard waves. Now, I'm no longer talking about grinding anymore, by the way. That was the last game that we just went into. No, this is more about hopefully the developers of this game making a harder, much harder one, because like, sure, Mutants was cool, but it took me 5 to 7 hours to figure out, maybe 10 hours to figure out how to beat Christmas Hard. Took me like 10 tries to figure out how to beat. You know, I want something that takes me like 50 tries, that makes me want to play the game and continue playing it for a while and like try and beat it. You know, something that's difficult but not overly difficult. Not something like mutants having shields. Like, not the final boss having shields. Maybe something with extra waves. And maybe the smaller towers having shields. Or the smaller enemies having shields. Like, because the thing with dinosaurs having shields is, say I have like a Triceratops with a shield, right? Then they get in the way of the boss, and I have to take out the shield of the smaller one first. You see, that calls for like you not being like, oh yeah, that's fine, I just have to prepare for a boss, because then you have to prepare for like the smaller things. Now the smaller bosses having shields, that's a good idea. Like, I like what they did with the smaller bosses having shields. But when you give the very powerful bosses shields, you know, that kind of takes away the what is it? I don't know. The feeling of beating the boss. Like, adding the shield to the boss was, sure, making it more difficult, but that was just time consuming, you know? Like, if you added the shields to, say, like, small shields, like 10,000 health, but they were on the guardians of the boss, then that would have made that more interesting and less like time consuming, more actual, okay, you've got to do this, there's no other way you can win. And sure, there's no other way you could win by putting it on the final boss, but putting it on the final boss, I mean, like, you didn't really need to focus on the you didn't need to focus on the guardians, and while your towers destroyed the guardians, you could easily take care of the final boss. And that's the thing, like, you need to make sure that you, like, when making hard waves or making hard versions, you need to think what would be hard. Like in Bloons TD6, what they did with like having DTDs, that was good. That was good. Or I always forget if it's DDTs or DTDs because it literally sounds the same. But what I'm saying is they made it a little bit not different, but they made it a little bit difficult by making, you know, bosses with like hidden detection where you need special towers to detect them and stuff. And I like that. Same thing with tower battles. Tower battles also made it difficult by having things, but they also had a very powerful tower. And you see, the thing with debuffing the Rudolph is not that many people actually had the Rudolph or Santa Sleigh because it was very hard to get. Of course, people could just easily grind the game and get them. And I have to admit, lots of people did probably get them. But, I mean, like, it wasn't a definite that tons of people would have them. Only, you know, a lot of people, not tons. And when they made it, you know, when they debuffed it just like a few days ago, I was a little bit disappointed that they debuffed that. Like the polar pair I could get because the polar pair was very cheap and a lot of people who didn't get the Rudolph got the polar pair. So if you debuffed the polar pair, that would have been fine. Like debuffing it was probably the wisest idea, but debuffing the Rudolph, like the Rudolph was supposed to be an overpowered tower. It was supposed to be very strong, you know? And so was the Santa Sleigh. The Santa Sleigh was supposed to be overpowered. And one thing I did notice that they didn't debuff was the Super Santa, which I find a little bit weird. Because the Super Santa, you could get 10 of them. You could get 10 of them, right? And if they each did 2,240 damage, that's 22,400 damage. That's a lot of damage. But what I found even weirder was that range. 450 range. It could see the whole map doing a constant. If you put all of them together, that group of Super Santas would be able to deal 22,400 damage across the map. Which, if I correctly do get my calculator out and check I am pretty sure. If I can find my calculator, that a boss would take around 300 seconds to go around. Times 22,400, that's 6,720,000 health. And that's like 300 seconds at the least. Like, at the very least, it's 300 seconds. I may actually just do a snowman only challenge. Why not? Why not? So, yeah, wait, no, not 300 seconds. Let's say, like, 420 seconds. No. 490 seconds. No. It'd probably take, like, somewhere around 700 seconds, let's say. That's, like, 10 minutes. Like, let's just say it's not actually 10 minutes, but 5 to 10 minutes, okay? It takes 5 to 10 minutes for a boss to cross that. So let's just take the nearest in between. That's 7.5 minutes. Times 22,400. That's 10 million damage with just those towers. That is a lot of damage. With just 10 towers. And with just one tower. Like, with just one tower that, you know, quite a few people got. And it's relatively cheap, too. So, the thing is, was this, like, would this tower be worth it to debuff? I don't think it would be worth it to debuff. But I feel like if they were going to debuff all the Christmas towers that were pretty much super powerful, they would debuff this one because this one was also quite powerful. Like, maybe not the most powerful, but definitely up there. Definitely up there. It's definitely, like, especially since it cost, like, since one coin goes for 1 Robux, it technically cost around 800 coins. Of course, it didn't actually cost 800 coins. It cost 800 Robux. But let's just say that it was transferred into coins. It would cost around 800, maybe 1,000 coins. And yet, it would be way more powerful than the T-Rex. And you might be wondering, well, it only did like 400 damage more than the T-Rex and had like, what, 50 range more than the T-Rex? How would it be so much more powerful? Well, the reason it would be so much more powerful is because the T-Rex, even though this seems like something that wouldn't matter, when you place it, right, the red circle or the blue circle is how much space it takes up. You can see the other tower's red circles. And if you try and place them anywhere within, it goes red. And that is like the space of which you could place it in. Now the thing is, the T-Rexes had an extremely big one. Well, you could place at the very least 5. That's right, 5 snowmen. Or not 5 snowmen, but probably 5 snowmen. And actually, no, probably a full-on 10 Super Santa in the space that you could only place one T-Rex. And the reason this is important is because some maps don't give you that much room to place towers. Anyway, I'm gonna open a crate and then we can end off this video. Click here to open a crate. Come on. Come on. I need that plane tower. It is literally one of the only towers that I don't have. Oh my goodness, a T-Rex. Okay, well that's pretty good. I can, spend some of that 400 coins just getting another crate. Oh, I almost got the plane. I've not seen anyone in one of the servers I've been in get the plane yet, which is crazy. Scientist. Wow. It's so hard to get that. It's literally so hard to get the plane. They've got to make these crates cheaper. I say like 150 or 200 would be good. Like 150, you would still be getting less usually. Like 20%, 15%, 15%, 15%, 30%, 45%. That's 65% chance that you don't, get what you got back. But then again, for the 250, it's basically 65%. Yeah, that 150 is a good price for these crates. They should have made it 150. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 400 subscribers by the end of this month. So please do subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Bye.